6 in the morning, Universal Time. You're watching Press TV's summary of the international news live from the capital of Iran. Well, the Iraqi Foreign Minister, Hosea Zebari, is dismissing claims by a U.S. lawmaker that the American taxpayer is bearing the economic burden in Iraq. We're interrupting our normal programming to go direct to Brussels for a special press conference held by EU President Jose Manuel Barroso and the Prime Minister of Iraq, Nouri al-Maliki. Let's listen into their press conference. I believe exclusively to Press TV at the moment. Sheikh Salah al-Obeidi, Muqtada al-Sadr's spokesman from Baghdad, can now join me. Can you hear me, Sheikh Salah al-Obeidi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Well, first of all, that story, the American network reporting that Nouri al-Maliki is basically saying the Al-Mahdi army has to be disbanded. What's your response? Well, Pope Benedict XVI carrying where he left off, perhaps some analysts might say, after the speech at the White House lawn with President Bush. Unlike his predecessor, Pope John Paul II, very noticeably, Pope Benedict XVI did not mention names. He talked about human rights around the world, but specifically did not mention Iraq, unlike Pope John Paul II, who was deeply against the United States invasion. He didn't mention Gaza either. He was very keen to talk of the founding ideals of the United Nations, however. Perhaps our viewers might want to Iraq now, and street clashes between U.S. forces and residents of Baghdad's Sadr city. Apologies for the sound quality there. We have on the phone Hamid Gul, the former ISI chief from Islamabad, retired general, that's Inter-Services Intelligence. Hamid, the British Foreign Secretary is in Pakistan talking about terrorism. It's well known that ISAF forces are paying off warlords and those connected to Osama bin Laden. What is your take on this visit?
Well, I think this would be too wishful.
Do you think Osama bin Laden is in Pakistan?
No, I don't think so, because
Mohsen Saleh, viewers may be wondering about this. In 2006, Israel brutally attacks Lebanon. Hezbollah helped save Lebanon, and now the networks that Lebanon was saved by are being closed down by the Lebanese government. What's going on? Ali, risk is there. Is the violence confined to just 2 or 3 areas of Beirut, Ali?
Yes, it is actually, of course, some developments have
been women and children. Well, Brian Becker from the Answer Coalition now joins me live from Washington, D.C. Well, huge demonstrations in Sadr City and the rest of Baghdad against the occupation, but is anyone listening in Washington?
Well, I don't think they're listening in the White House. Certainly the Bush administration had...
Thank you very much for your patience.
Mohammed Ali Husseini, the Foreign Ministry spokesman there, speaking perhaps for the last time. There was talk about him perhaps moving. It was jam-packed with issues, nuclear cooperation on top of the list with the IAEA. He said that nuclear cooperation will go on. The talks with IAEA officials will continue. He was asked about trust between the US and Iran, and he said the US needed to make some steps. He also said that bilateral talks were not on the agenda. In Iraq has passed 4,000 after a roadside bomb killed 4 US soldiers in southern Baghdad. Well, right now, Amanda Lindhout, Press TV's correspondent in Baghdad, not in the green zone, joins me now. Well, Amanda, reporters for many media outlets have been hailing the surge, unlike you. Do you think a US death toll of 4,000 will change anything?
Unfortunately, I don't think that it will actually.
If confirmed by the Senate, Petraeus will replace former US Commander William Fallon, who stepped down over differences with George W. Bush's policies on Iran. General Ray Odierno, Petraeus's deputy, is expected to take his position as the senior commander in Iraq. Well, quite a few changes, and Press TV's Jihan Hafiz has been monitoring them from Washington, D.C. The news of the appointment seemed to leak out, Jihan. Are people in the Pentagon or the White House leaking defense information? Massey Rich, Communications Director for the Center for Responsive Politics, which issued the report, joins me now on the phone from Washington. How did you arrive at such startling figures?
Well, Afshin, we looked at the reports that our members of Congress are required to file every year.
Fraud, but the U.S. officials say there is no reason not to renew the deal. A senior U.S. official, however, did say that the contract could be pulled depending on the findings of the FBI and State Department investigations. Well, Danny Schechter, the editor of Media Channel in New York, joins me live on the phone. Why would the administration renew a contract with a company that's already under FBI investigation for massacring civilians?
Because this company, run by Eric Prince...
The Emirates Stadium in London.
Well, one of Gordon Brown's MPs, Peter Kilfoyle, MP for a Liverpool constituency, joins me on the phone now. We understand Gordon Brown's coming under increasing pressure from the US to send more troops to Afghanistan and Iraq. How will you be voting?
Well, the assumption is that we'll have a vote.
Who is under house arrest, Aung San Suu Kyi. Justin, how do you characterize the Myanmar government's response to what seems like the worst cyclone in Asia since 1991? Well, Michael Burns, the political analyst from New York, president and founder of the Africast news agency, joins me now from New York. Somalia could be a very rich country. Why is the United States firing missiles from submarines at it, as it did on the 3rd of March? Our sources are saying that fighting broke out after the Palestinian faction Fatah handed over a militant commander to Lebanese authorities. Well, we were watching there Vice President Dick Cheney, currently under impeachment proceedings from the former presidential contender Dennis Kucinich, called by the Washington Post a shadow president. Dick Cheney was speaking after the president of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, said he welcomed Dick Cheney to Ramallah. Fawzi Barhoum, the spokesman of Hamas in Gaza, joins me now live. We're getting reports of a truce between Hamas and Israel. Is this true?
Till now,
we know that, Fawzi, but we're actually getting reports. We know, of course, that, but we're getting reports of a tacit truce. That's an unnamed source in Israel saying that Hamas and Israel have put a stop to basically holding fire.
this is not true. This is an embargo.
But is there a ceasefire, and does it have anything to do with the negotiations with Egypt?
We are in Hamas.
Does that mean that Hamas's resistance for the moment is on hold?
The Israeli occupation committed.
Okay, two very quick final questions, because we'll lose the satellite link from Gaza. Did the Secretary of State Rice tell Egypt, do you believe, to talk with Hamas and to keep talking with Hamas? And finally, Israel has claimed that the attack on the school for settlers in Jerusalem was carried out by Hamas. How do you respond to that allegation?
We have been where there is occupation.
But was it Hamas? Sorry, we're running out of time. Was it Hamas, as the Israelis are alleging?
What about again, please?
Was it Hamas that carried out the Jerusalem shootings, as the Israelis are alleging?
This is a message to the
against the Palestinian people.
So you are saying, sorry, so you are saying there's a precondition. Are you saying there is a precondition that Mahmoud Abbas is imposing on any talks with the Israelis? That's the precondition?
You can understand that. Continue.
What's the difference between a soft condition? You said a soft condition. What's the difference between a soft condition and a hard condition?
Yes, the difference is in the language usage.
Forgive me for not understanding quite what you meant. So will President Abbas be speaking with the Israelis, say tomorrow, or won't he, while the airstrikes continue on Gaza?
I'm not the spokesman of President Mahmoud Abbas. I'm representing the Fatah movement.
Some might say it hasn't exactly calmed down, the massive abductions in the West Bank, airstrikes. Can you just tell me from Fatah's point of view, what sort of pressure do you think Secretary Rice put on Mahmoud Abbas and the Palestinian Authority over the past 24 hours?
We didn't hear about conditions that...
Well, keep watching Press TV. We'll have a very full bulletin in about 55 minutes' time. Thank you for watching.